Welcome, Miller's Monsters. I'm Mr. Beelzebub. This here is Count Luna. And behind me is Edgar P. the Scully, who has been demoted to mask duty again because he did a lousy job running the computer on the last segments. Scroll down. That's all you had to do, bonehead. Anyways, this is Haunted Places, and we're going to talk about the Borley Rectory. And it was built, there you go, gone. It was built in 1863. See, I got my notes in two places now. I'm learning, people, I'm learning. And according to legend, a monk fell in love with a young lady there, and they went to elope, and the monk was killed and hanged. The carriage driver met a similar fate, and the lady was locked in the basement and died in the basement. And then there was the house's first residents, the Bull family, and they claimed to see a nun's ghost walking the pathways. Okay, and it was called the Nun's Walk. That was good. If you step on my computer again, I swear to God. They were seeing a ghostly figure that would look out through the window, and they eventually boarded up that window. Good move. But nobody knew about this until the 1920s. And that's when another reverend guy, Eric Smith, began to witness spectral events and became distressed, and he reached out to Harry Price, who is a well-known, oh my god, demonologist, I'll call him because I can't think of the name, psychic researcher. Thank you. And we'll talk more about Harry Price, but first I want to give you a minute to hit the subscribe button, ring that bell, set yourself up for notifications, and please tell your friends to like, subscribe, and watch as well. And I thank you in advance. And I'll be back with the story of Harry Price and how he added to the legend of the Borley Rectory. Okay, quick recap. The Bull family was staying at the Borley Rectory, and it is now being lived in by his son, and he was seeing headless ghosts and ghostly horse-drawn carriages, and he had a certain fascination with it all. So in comes Harry Price, a well-known psychic researcher, and he came in, and almost instantly things started to happen. Coins fell from the ceilings where no coins were. Keys were flying out of the key locks. He called it a very thrilling 16 hours, and he would go on to say, at local pubs and that it was the most haunted house in England. 16 hours of thrills is the quote. And, unfortunately, the house burned down in 1938, but the reports of paranormal sightings didn't stop there. Also, a seance a year earlier predicted that the house would burn down, and sure enough, 1 year later, it did. And after the house burned down, there is a picture that Time magazine took, that the photographer says he saw a floating brick in the black doorway. I've looked at this picture, you will be too, and I don't really see it. Who knows? Okay. But of course, with all the fame and all the fortune, there were detractors to this story, and good, I'll go over that in a minute. So the biggest critic of what went on at the Borley Rectory is Louis Mayerling, and he wrote a book in 2000. It is called "We Faked the Ghosts of Borley Rectory," and he said, he would love to say that there is a sliver of truth to that, but he felt the book had to be written to reveal the farcical truth about the house. As he personally experienced, he considered the house a second home. And apparently this house was full of secret passages and servants, and even some of the children were involved, and they would run these secret passages and, make the noises and, anything else they can do to perpetuate the fascination with the house and the specter and the supernatural of the house. Also, at one point, they had installed a new water heater, and how water heaters do back in the day, they'd make all kinds of noises. So they played that up as spooks doing the banging around. And then another point was that the Foysters also, and that was another person that was living in the home, would have someone go out with a black cape and walk at a certain time of the day, so tourists would see that, lending to the supernatural experience. And and the cape was up, so it looked like a headless specter. But even the critic can't explain one happening at the house, and he says it terrified him to the bone. And what this was is he had on Easter in 1935, had to get some more treats. They attended a seance at the Borley, and all of a sudden it was in a dimly lit cellar, and they heard bells ringing in the kitchen, and in other places where no one was there to ring the bells, and they knew no one else could be ringing the bells, and he couldn't explain what happened. And then suddenly they heard bells in the kitchen. There was no one there and no way to fake things. But the most strange thing that happened, if I can scroll down, there we go. All of a sudden there was like a blue bolt of lightning in the room, and it just froze everybody for like 5 seconds. And he can't explain it. He's honest about that, and it still makes him feel rather shaken to this day. But he's saying the rest of the hauntings were one of the most successful hoax of the ages. So there's two sides of the story. You can make your own decision on what's true, what's not true. I think, a little bit of each. I think there was some hauntings at this house, but also this house was a source of income for people that lived in this house, and it was a hard time. And especially one family that lived them, they were struggling financially, and it was said they played up the supernatural, of course, to earn a living. So I give it 50-50. And even the harshest critic who said he was there for all the shenanigans and the secret passageways, and that said that something unexplained happened at this house, and he'll never forget it, and it shook him to his core. So there's your story about the Borley Rectory. I hope you liked what you heard and saw, and Luna was very well behaved. You could pick your head up for me, please, so they can see you. There you go. And please hit the subscribe, ring the bell, and hit the like button. Set yourself up for notifications so you don't miss another episode. And please tell your friends to like and subscribe as well. And I will talk to you later.